lot of allegations being thrown around about a YouTuber who I've been following for at least the last 5 years, Pyrocynical. Now these allegations are one of him being a paedophile and grooming a 15-year-old boy known as Ivory. He sat silent on the matter for a while, but after a few weeks he's made a response video from his channel. Pyro made a Reddit post addressing the matter, but since then a very tunnel-visioned Google Doc has been released, and many have turned on Pyro. What I mean when I say it's tunnel-visioned is that it paints him in a very bad light and doesn't account for all of the factors, yet only those that incriminate him. He states that he was unaware of Ivory's age at the time of the interactions, and when he found out of his age, Ivory was of legal age and consent in his state, so at the time he didn't see this as a massive moral question to ask himself. In the video that Pyro released, he has taken full responsibility and apologised, saying that as he knew he was of age, he should have made sure that Ivory was also. However, in these interactions, there were no nudes exchanged or even sent. It was all just roleplay. Pyro stated that he never intended for any form of sexual relationship to develop, and none did. He never wanted anything more than the friendship that they had. Here's a clip from an interview that Ivory did with Tommy C, and I think it really shows the position that he's in, because he can never really draw a conclusive answer to any of the questions he's asked, and throughout the whole clip it seems to be him grasping at straws that Tommy hands to him.
So here's what I'm not understanding, and how were you groomed? The grooming thing, that brings it to a whole new level. I mean, now we're talking about people that are, you know, not just having a dirty conversation with an underage person, but plan to do something about it. I mean, is it really fair that you use the word grooming? And if that's true, if you feel that's true, where was this going?
I'm not like, I don't know.
Because it reads more like a YouTube like thumbnail. Do you honestly believe? And just be honest. Did you not understand the definition of the word completely?
I feel like it was like forcing or like manipulating a child into a like sexual situation.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
that's what that word means to me.
Sure.
And like, I definitely was.
That's what it means to you. Okay. But do you think that he had plans for you down the road to prey on you in any other way? Because that's what I understand. Because it's got to go from point A to point B. That's the way I understand the definition. It doesn't look like it.
Now here you see him sort of show himself a safety net, if you will, because when he speaks, he says he was grooming me because he manipulated a child into a sexual situation. But like I've said before, Pyro didn't know how old Ivory was, and that's what I don't like about this whole situation. Grooming, you know, it means preying on a child. He can't have been preying on a child if he didn't know he was a child. He thought he was a consenting adult, and yes, he was mistaken for thinking that, but he didn't knowingly or maliciously go after a child to exploit them in any way. Pyro even stated that he didn't even know what Ivory looked like at this point. But like I say, Ivory says that Pyro was preying on a child, and then he says that's what it means to me. Just in case someone like me comes and calls him out for it, he can say, oh, I didn't understand the meaning of the word. And that's why Tommy's very quick to say, well, this is what it means to me, and this is, you know, that's the actual definition of it. You know, like he says, it's got to go from point A to point B.
I'm having trouble with the grooming aspect, but I don't want to get a semantic debate about the word. Yeah. I have no issue. I have no want, but it's just like, was he grooming you to get pictures? Was he grooming you to get this? Because on the surface, this looks like just an inappropriate conversation with somebody that there is a power dynamic there, and I fully admit that.
So what he says about the power dynamic, I can only really see two. The first is, of course, age. Pyro is older than Ivory, and Ivory at this time was a child. However, Pyro also didn't know that Ivory was 15. So how could he hold that age over him and daunt it above him if he didn't even know that he had that power? And even if Ivory did feel intimidated by his age, that tells you that Ivory knew Pyro's age and didn't say anything about it, which, although it's not his responsibility to say anything about it, it does beg the question, why didn't he disclose that he was 15 and he was a kid? Because as far as Pyro was aware, he was a consenting adult.
Where do you think this was going? How much worse this? Where did you think this was going to end, or was this always going to stay in this realm?
I think the worst it was gonna go was like him using me to like hit up like contact artists about it, and
so you say he
of,
wasn't necessarily grooming you sexually, but he definitely was manipulating you to create more contacts with more artists.
he was manipulating me and like using my openness sexually as.
And it's such bull. This, it pisses me off so much, because as soon as you say he used this sexually against me, he's the villain of the story, and it's like there's no rationalizing with his side and with what went on. Tommy even says he wasn't manipulating you for anything sexual. Ivory admits that he didn't think Pyro wanted anything sexual out of it. He says he was manipulating him for contact artists, which, as far as I'm aware, isn't a fucking crime. And this is what I mean by it is being blown way out of proportion. Um, and people are just jumping on the hate train to hate on Pyro because they've seen the word groom and paedophile, but they've done no research whatsoever. It's a perfect opportunity to address false allegations and how easily they can be made, and you can see how quickly they can ruin somebody's livelihood. It happens way too often, not just on platforms, not just on social media, but in everyday life. It happens a lot of the time, and there is no real punishment or consequences for it. You've had the whole case with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and the newspapers slating Johnny Depp, and he's just gone to court about that. But there's no punishment for any of the people that drag his name through the dirt, or the person that makes the allegation. The subject to these false allegations just gets off people that doesn't just wash away overnight, and it wrecks their reputation just as quickly. This isn't just internet famous people it goes on with. It isn't just famous people it goes on with. It goes on every day with everyday people. And I think the thing we need to take away from this is that false allegations are ridiculously common and they are not addressed, and that needs to change. I stand with Pyrocynical completely and will argue to my last breath that he is not knowingly done anything with malicious intent, and as soon as he found out of Ivory's age, he apologised and has apologised multiple times since. Like he said, he didn't want any form of sexual relationship with him because, as he stated, he's straight. I think what we need to take away from this situation is that false allegations happen far too often, and the person making them is believed straight away without providing any substantial evidence. And that is something, like I said, that needs to change. I will leave a link to every video that I've mentioned in the description for if you want to go and check them out. Join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and most importantly subscribe, because I'm trying to make it to 200 by the end of the year. It's not a big goal, but it's a goal. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope most importantly that it's changed your views on this. More so, I hope it's changed how you view an allegation, and that you'll take it with a pinch of salt the next time you hear one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.